What's up, guys? Everything you need to know about protein. Let's go, baby. So, why is protein literally a cheat code? Well, we're going to dive really deep into this and how it's really going to change your body composition, which is the thing that we care about. We're not just here about, trying to get on Ozempic and like whatever freaking fad diet there is, HCG, where it just gets you losing a ton of weight, because we know that if you even lost like 20, 30 pounds, you might not be happy with the way you look simply because you look super soft and you like still got like, you just lose a ton of muscle mass and you just don't look as good, at least for the clients that we want to work with. They're not so focused so much on the number. They focus on like how they actually look in the mirror. And here's the thing, very much people are very conditionally response. They have a positive conditioned response to the number on the scale going down, which is effective for the first little bit. Like, don't get me wrong, it's how you actually get a calorie deficit, lose a bit of weight. But eventually over time, if you fixate on the scale way too much, that's your primary focus, you end up doing these crazy freaking fad diet things where you just drop your calories like an insane amount. And of course you're going to lose weight, but at the same time, you're going to lose a ton of muscle. And that's not what we want here. We're going to preserve that. And we're going to talk about that right here through prioritizing protein as part of every single meal. You should be having protein. So when it comes to losing weight effectively, guys, protein plays a massive role. And it's not just about cutting calories, as I kind of mentioned. It's truly about ensuring your body gets the right nutrients, support fat loss while preserving muscle. And this is the most important thing, guys. We want to preserve muscle. Muscle is really good. Okay. Prioritizing protein in every single meal can not only help you like stay actually full, where obviously if you're feeling full, you don't have to like snack and stuff and overconsume calories, but you start to build muscle. And when you build muscle, you start to build your capacity, less risk of injury, you require more resources at rest, and thus your metabolism starts to increase, which makes weight loss super sustainable. And very much a lot of the time people are so focused on like, hey, let's try to just drop your calories as much as you can. Yes, that's effective for weight loss. You need to have a balance of protein in there. And here's how to understand and apply it in a very practical, actionable way. Okay, so we're going to talk about protein. Why is protein so important, guys? Satiety and fullness. So protein takes longer to digest and it's harder to digest than carbs or fat, which makes it feel like obviously for you, you stay fuller for a lot longer, and it reduces the likelihood of overeating, over-consuming calories, and snack between meals. This is like its superpower, right? It keeps you fuller for a lot longer. You also get muscle preservation, okay? So when you're in a calorie deficit, your body might lose both fat and muscle. And the objective here, when you're in a calorie deficit, we want to preserve muscle mass as much as possible. Losing weight is very easy, guys. Losing weight, you can just not eat. You can starve yourself. Like, you're going to lose weight. But that's not the objective here. We want to preserve muscle as much as we can because protein will help you preserve lean muscle mass, which ensures that the weight comes off primarily comes from fat. And if that happens and all that 10 pounds is literally 10 pounds of like fat, your body composition completely changes big time. Okay. So you're going to get way more results, like in terms of physical appearance, if you lost like 5 pounds of fat versus like freaking 15 pounds of weight. I'm going to repeat that again. If you lost 5 pounds of fat versus losing 15 pounds of total weight, and most of it's like water and muscle, I can promise you, if you lost 5 pounds of muscle, you will look way like juicier, but way more athletic looking, way more tone looking than someone who just lost a ton of weight really quickly. You start to look dehydrated. You don't look as like tight. I don't even know if tight's like a really good way to describe it, but that's how I'm going to describe it. You look way more athletic. You have way more energy. And so losing fat is the primary goal. We want to focus on losing as much fat as we want, as for us, as fast as possible, without losing muscle mass. That's the key here. Okay. And we're going to talk about the thermogenic effect of food. Protein has the highest thermic effect of food, meaning your body burns more calories digesting protein compared to fats and carbs. Around 20 to 30% of protein calories are just used to process that. You ate 100 calories, okay? That means your body requires 30 calories to burn that 100 calories. So now you're only intaking 70 calories. I hope you guys just like freaking, that emoji? It's like boom, like that, right? So that's why having protein is so important. But here's the thing. When I first started, when I was like freaking 19 years ago, so more than 10 years ago, right? Probably like 12, 13 years ago at this point, I always thought that protein was like everything, but I overconsumed protein to the point where I was like 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So that's a lot of protein, guys. Right here, what we're asking you is 0.8 to 1 gram protein per pound of body weight. And I basically just like had so much protein to the point where first off, it was crazy expensive when I was like 19 years old. Like I was a college student, right? So I'm like, here I am just like eating chicken breast and only eating chicken breast because I had to stay within my calorie range. And I was just like, man, I'm just so sick of chicken breast. And it freaking scarred me to the point right now where I literally don't want to ever have chicken breast ever again. Unless it's like made fresh. It's like, really, really good. It's like just out of a frying pan or barbecue, whatever like that. I just can't have like microwave chicken breast ever again. It's literally scarred me because I just had so much of that before. So protein is really, really important, but you can overindulge protein. And I remember when I was having so much protein, yes, I was feeling full, but I also hated life. I was just like, man, I can't have any more protein. Like I just can't anymore. It's too much. And I remember going to like restaurants and I'd be like very obsessive. I'd be like, okay, well, if I'm gonna go to like whatever restaurant, like I'm gonna pack chicken breast. So I'm adding more protein to like every single meal. You don't need to do that. You don't need to go over the board like what I did, where I'm just eating rice, chicken breast, salad, maybe some like potatoes here and there. It was, it works until it no longer works. You know what I mean? So it works until you miss having a social life. And for us, it's like you don't need to like give up your social life. You don't need to like give everything up to like look a certain way. You can do this while having an amazing lifestyle. I'm going to show you how to do that. So first off, understand how much protein you actually need. Okay, the amount of protein that you should consume depends on your weight and your activity level. For effective fat loss, we're aiming for 0.7 to 1 gram protein per pound of body weight. Ideally, 0.8 is pretty much like pretty good. Like any more, it's just going to help you stay fuller for a bit longer. More protein you have is you're going to be a bit more gassier. Maybe it's going to be a little bit harder on your stomach per se. But 0.8 is typically like the upper echelon of like how much you can absorb anyways in like a single sitting anyways. Okay, so I'm going to give you some math here. Example, so if you weigh 180 pounds, you should aim for 126 to 180 grams of protein per day. Okay, here's how you can actually make this actionable. So you use like a food tracker app, MyFitnessPal. For the most part, it's free. You can calculate, track your protein intake. Here's ways where you can add protein to your meal so that every single meal that you're getting, you're actually getting protein. First off, breakfast is often the meal where people get the least amount of protein. All right, it truly is, because most of the time people end up like skipping it. They opt for like carbs, like cereal and toast. And carbs is not bad for you guys. Like it's not a bad thing. Okay, it truly isn't. It's just when you have more protein in your meal, as I kind of mentioned, it makes you feel full for a bit longer. Thermogenic effective food. There's a lot of benefits. Okay. And so protein-rich breakfast will help you control your hunger levels throughout the morning, prevent energy crashes, and more importantly, here's the thing to know. Whenever someone like skips breakfast, and I'm not like saying, hey, like always have breakfast or skip breakfast, it depends on your lifestyle. But what tends to happen is after your very first meal, you're usually a lot hungry. You're starving at this point. It's like 1 o'clock rolls around. And I can tell you that this is basically me when I started doing it when I was like 19. I just thought that intermittent fasting was literally the way you lost weight and stuff until you realize it's not. But then from here, it's like, I remember my 1 o'clock PM meal, I would like bring this like Tupperware freaking lasagna. Right? Just huge Tupperware. And I'd eat the whole thing. But realistically speaking, I just overconsumed calories. I was just way too hungry. I scarfed the whole thing down. I ate in like 5 minutes. And guess what? You don't give your body some time to like actually digest the food. And here's the reality: it takes around like 20 minutes before your hunger cue is like, you're satisfied. So if you're just consuming meals like in like 5 minutes, by the time you finish, you might have overconsumed calories more than what you actually need. And so usually your first meal coming out of the fast, quote unquote, is usually a lot bigger. So by having protein in like, I guess, in your lunch and so forth, it's going to help you, or have protein in your breakfast. Okay. This is going to help you reduce your hunger cues on that first meal, which oftentimes is way bigger than your breakfast and lunch. At least that's the case for me. And so ways you can actually increase the amount of protein in your breakfast: eggs. All right. Super easy way. 2 large eggs give you 12 grams of protein. Add some vegetables like spinach. Right. Makes it pretty yummy. Greek yogurt, it's freaking like a superpower, I swear to God. Offer plain unsweetened yogurt provides around 15 to 20 grams of protein per serving. That's so much, guys. Add some berries, right, for extra nutrients. You can have a protein smoothie, scoop of protein powder, almond milk. I love almond milk. Spinach, a handful of berries. Obviously, one single scoop is like 20 to 25 grams of protein. It's beautiful. Okay. So if you're pressed for time, you can boil an egg, prepare a batch of overnight oats with some protein powder or chia seed the night before. Okay. Lunch oftentimes is very carb heavy as well. Okay, especially if you're eating like a sandwich or you're getting wraps, pasta. So by adding quality protein source, you're gonna stay fuller for a lot longer, and you're gonna avoid that post lunch, oh, I'm super tired kind of vibes. Cool. So lean protein, chicken breast, 4 ounces of chicken breast contains 25 to 30 grams of protein. But if you ask me to have chicken breast, I'm gonna say no, I'm not gonna have that anymore because I'm freaking sick of it. Right? You can add it to salad, wraps, or quinoa bowls. Tuna, salmon, super high protein options. Can of tuna has 20 grams of protein, super good in salads. You can add some like light mayonnaise in there as well. It's good, it's delicious, right? You can have tofu if you're vegan, tempeh, plant-based eaters. 3 ounces. Tempeh has around 15 to 20 grams of protein. And here's the thing that you can actually apply like right away. Okay, you can prep protein ahead of time. So what I really like to do is on Sunday with my wife, I'll literally just prepare a ton of chicken thighs into like a Tupperware container. It's like this huge, it's gonna last until like all week, right? And so from there, I can change up my carb source. I can change up like my vegetable source, but my protein is going to be pretty similar. That means I can have like noodles one day. I can have like beans, lentils. I can have a salad if I want to. I can have if I want to, or I can have like what else can I have? Noodles, rice, all that stuff, right? So dinner time. This is your last chance to hit your protein target. Well, one of them at least, right? You can have like a meal afterwards if you like. And it's typically going to be a lot larger. Incorporating protein here is going to help you with recovery because obviously protein, one of the big things that help you repair muscle is simply the building blocks of muscle comes from the protein itself. Protein will help you replenish. As long as you sleep, you're going to build more muscle. The protein is going to help you replenish and repair any sort of things that's happening throughout your day. So high protein dinners, lean beef, opt for 90% lean ground beef or sirloin. 4 ounces serving gives around 25 to 30 grams protein. You can have turkey, chicken, ground turkey, right? Using stir fry, lentils if you're a vegetarian option. 18 grams of protein, which is huge, guys. Add them to soups and so forth. So here's something that make an actionable. Half of your dinner plate contains of lean protein source, guys. Half your plate protein. That's the goal. Cool. And you can apply this for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner if you like. And that's kind of like what we do for our clients. We can actually, instead of like tracking all the time, we actually like tell our clients specific like hand portion size for everything. And basically it's going to be like, this is going to be your protein, this is going to be your carbs, and then this is going to be your fats. This part right here. Cool. Snacks. Snacking is often an overlooked opportunity to get more protein throughout the day. So instead of reaching for chips, right, because we know this is over-consuming calories, opt for a high protein snack to help curb the hunger, or drink some water. Okay, so see some of the things that we recommend for high protein snacks: Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, nuts. So this is a freaking hack, guys. I like to keep protein bar, beef jerky on hand when you're ready to go. So I literally just keep it with me, like in my bag and so forth. And it usually has like 10, 15. I usually aim for something around like 18 or 17 grams of protein for each like protein bar, and making sure it's like low added sugars. Okay. So the last step here, step number 3 is make protein accessible. So one of the biggest challenges people face is not having enough high protein food readily available. Okay. And the key here is to prep. So again, on Sunday, prepare like all your protein all at once, put into a Tupperware container, and honestly, just make protein a priority when you're shopping. Okay. So here's what you can do. Prep protein rich meals. Cook large portion protein at once. Like you can grill a bunch of chicken breast. You can bake tray of fish, store them in the fridge or freezer. You can stock up on like protein snacks, so such as Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, hard-boiled egg, protein powder, protein bars, tuna pouches in your kitchen, so that you always have like the really easy option. You're not reaching out for chips instead. Okay. So as you start to increase your protein intake, you want to track how your body responds. If you're feeling fuller, maintaining muscle mass, losing fat, you're on the right track, guys. Absolutely. Okay. So make sure you're monitoring the progress. Make sure to hit your daily protein goals. Keep tracking with the app. And if you're falling short, gradually just increase the portion size and add more protein-rich snacks. And you can continue to tweak your meal. You're going to find the thing that actually works for you. Most of the time, I have like maybe 4 to 6 meals that I just rotate towards. It's basically autopilot. I make things as easy as possible for me, so I keep things super simple. I don't really like to go on like Instagram and like have this like super fancy, like, I don't know, instant pot, like 30 ingredient kind of thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm just not going to want to do it. For me, I just keep things crazy simple. And if you guys need a meal plan, we're just going to attach one right here. So you guys can just literally just go and check it out too. But you need to find like some recipes that work really well for you, and just want to make it consistent. Okay. So here's my final thoughts around protein. Protein is literally the foundation towards like a successful fat loss journey. guys, this is a journey. You're not just going to lose 10 pounds and like forget about life. You want to make sure this is a priority. Okay. It's a habit. By prioritizing protein in every single meal and snack, you're going to feel a lot fuller. You're going to preserve muscle mass. That way, you're going to boost your metabolism. You're making it easier to stay in a calorie deficit and you're going to lose fat effectively. Okay. So if you implement these strategies consistently, you're going to see huge changes in your body composition. And that is the main goal here. We're not just here to try to lose 30 pounds and then look kind of flabby. Like, we don't need that negativity. We're here to change body composition, keep fat off so that you can literally stay around 10-15% body fat year round and just cruise through. That's a good life. All right, guys, stay tuned for the next training.